Okay, so here's the Coda Mire. This is a direct upgrade to the regular Mire. Uh, Suffice to say, with a very rare exception of using a ribbon, and even then it's kind of a toss-up, this is always going to be better than the regular Mire. You can get this by reaching Mastery Rank 17, as you can see at the top there, and by same way you get all the other Coda weapons by defeating a Technocyte Coda Lich. So, your Coda Mire will have these stats, including the innate toxin. It will also get a valence element, so it can be a little tricky to mod because your valence element will end up merging with the innate toxin, and then this does mean you can get innate, quote unquote, innate viral. If you pick cold, it will immediately merge with the toxin and make viral. Uh, that does mean that if you throw other mods in, you'll start having to really learn how the order for all that works. We'll discuss that a little more in time, though. Anyways, let's hop over to the simulacrum. Alright, so no starting slow here. We have the fully leveled steel path, and I will show this off. Yes, so that's the Coda Mire. Let's hop over here to our build. Alright. Sorry, pardon me. Still getting over some illness stuff. Now, there's a couple of different ways to build this. Probably the other way would be a slam build to take advantage of its unique trait, which forces toxin. For that version, you'd probably want to make it viral and put a slam build on it. If you go back to my last video about the Coda Motivore, you'll basically see a slam build. You can just straight up copy that over to this. Just make sure there's viral mixed in it. That will work out fine. For this, though, I picked Valence Bonus Heat. This gives you this just directly makes the gas effect that we're seeing there. We got Condition Overload, Status Effects, No Brainer, Blood Rush for some combo. Galvanized Steel does give us a little bit of critical chance and some extra on heavy attacks. It is not the best critical in the world by a long shot, but you can get going when you get some speed. Prime Fever Strike, this is probably the closest thing in here to a flex mod. You can see I do have a ribbon, but it does not scale very well because the dispo on new weapons is always super low. This is literally like 3 to 4 times as strong as you put on the regular Mire. This is kind of your flex slot, I would say, if you don't want strictly the... I'm having a lot of trouble with coughing today. If you don't want strictly the straight up damage, there's a few different things you could potentially put in there, including Weeping Wounds would be one. We got Primed Rage and Spring-Loaded Blade. This is very much we're making an AoE sword that doesn't use melee influence. So that's what's going on with a lot of that. Big range all the time. Again, you can tweak this or make a whole different build if you want, because I've really only got one going to show you one in this video, and maybe we'll come back around for a different one later. This is a no-brainer. If you're going to be doing any kind of status damage on a weapon, you want this, whether it's gas, blast, toxin, electric, or heat, or slash. All right. This is the gas version. Now, Crimson Dervish is very important to use this one for what we're specifically doing. It's also one of the better stances in general, but a lot of the times with stances you have a lot of wiggle room. They're melee strong enough you can use almost any of them, depending what you prefer for animations. The big thing here on Crimson Dervish is if you look at the final move on this Twisting Flurry, you'll see that little symbol. That's a knockdown knockback that occurs, which will trigger the melee affliction when they're knocked down, adding 6 additional stacks of every status currently on them. You can actually see that if I pop over here. I need to specifically find the tanky one. It's this guy. There we go. It went the second time. You saw his gas just went up to 9. And his slash went up to 7. That's what melee afflictions does. If you are going to use melee afflictions on any weapon, it always behooves you to have a knockdown in the combo chain. You can see it's also in the rig. It's also in the neutral one here. So that has less overall damage in it. Though it does have the force slash proc as well. If you start using these kind of, when you're using these kind of forward moves, so yeah, you either want to be using this, or when you're forwarding, you use the block combo. Weirdly, this doesn't have a neutral block combo. It's kind of strange. Heavy attacks will also usually have the knockdown, but it'll be on the second attack. It does mean the Tennokai won't really process it very often. If you want a slightly different version here, this is the blast version. Basically, the only big difference in here is you threw in a cold mod to make the blast trigger, and then that causes it to also have a little bit of toxin. This can be a little better for getting just straight condition overload damage if you're trying to kill things up front. And blast, where gas does take a little, it's got that whole thing where it needs to tick and can take its time to kick off for a second. Blast will go off when you kill an enemy. It'll explode and can very quickly kind of up front load the stuff as well. If you are trying to run melee influence, you'll probably want the electric, but then you'll have to make viral on the weapon itself or gas on the weapon itself, so that you aren't merging the electric and the gas and getting corrosive instead of electric, and then your influence won't trigger. Innate toxin weapon, probably one of the more difficult ones to get a melee influence build to operate on. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. It's a very solid weapon. You've probably seen it here and there if you're watching Warframe videos. Many people considered it the strongest of the melee weapons. I'm literally picking these things as suits my fancy. If you do want to see some Steel Path, hang out. But if not, remember to drop a like and subscribe and a comment. I've been missing my video upload schedule has not been what it should be due to illness lately, so all the support is appreciated. We will hop over to the Steel Path now, though, if you're hanging out with us, and thanks for watching. Alright, looks like one of our incursions was just a nice little exterminate here. So go play with the Corpus.
These are worthy foes.
For the purpose of this, I already showed you that it works in the simulacrum, so I'm gonna play like real Warframe here.
Suggests there are rich enemy supply caches in the area, but I am unable to pinpoint their exact location.
Where you'll see it will actually, you get to see some real effects on display. Surprised the amount of these are not going to survive for the melee afflictions part to work. Get out of the sky. Gonna push forwards over here. That's that block forward combo. Doesn't have quite the hitbox on it. But if you're already capable of aiming it, it will also proc the melee afflictions. You're wondering, the little ghost thunders are giving us his buff, which is blast on top of our gas. Making him a very good candidate if you want to make these kind of AoE builds with melee. Him and Lavos are both able to directly make the blast element using their buffs. One of these guys shooting me with something goes through connect lighting, which is interesting. Don't know what that is. Probably an electric gun. Oh, not getting stunned though. Magnets? Yeah.
You found the first resource cache. I'm detecting 2 more faint hints. Stay Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Yeah, I'm not sure which enemy in here has a elemental gun. Whatever's shooting those little missiles. One of them, that was. I'll have to look into that at some point.
Relics of a bygone era. My amalgams are the new paradigm.
Oh yeah. Steel path, nothing to. I've actually gone in and done like elite Archimedia with this, so. This is not a. These guys are basically chumps in comparison. The elite Archimedia was with Sevagoth, who makes. Sevagoth is a little bit too much of a weapon buff. Not the Gauss isn't, but like. There's difference between playing a real frame that likes the game for real and playing the game with a frame that just makes weapons deal like triple damage and. Afflictions won't quite work on them as well because they have status caps, but.
The enemy is broken.
And we're done.
Well done. Now get to extraction.
What you have learned here will serve you well.
I also put together this neat tech rot fashion for Gauss. So yeah, that is the Coda Mire in a nutshell. Again, if you have hung out this long, thanks for watching. Please consider dropping a subscribe or a like or a comment if you have any questions or requests for the next video, whatever that may be. We will see you then. If you want a tech rot fashion Gauss, by the way, here he is. As a bonus content for sticking around. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.